from HST metal detectors. My name is BigBob McCrae and I'll be your host. I'll also be the director. I'm also the chief producer, the chief editing officer, and so forth. As a matter of fact, I'm just about the only person in this business, but that's okay. I wanted to produce an introductory type of video just to kind of explain where I'm at and where I'm going with this little enterprise. I have been always compulsive on issues. It could be compulsive on science, it could be on hunting or fishing or so forth, but it's always kind of takes me over, and I tend to enjoy life by being compulsive. I think being compulsive is absolutely a necessary thing for human beings to be. It is through being compulsive that you learn things, and that's kind of what I do. I've been compulsive about history, for example. I think history is an excellent field of study, and it can lead to rewarding thoughts. I've been compulsive about science. I've spent years studying science. I've been compulsive about theology. Made detailed studies of various religious texts and theological concepts, and I know the Old Testament quite well, the New Testament quite well, and other testaments pretty well themselves. So all these compulsions have not always been like academic. I mean, I've been in the field with fishing and hunting and bicycling and tennis playing and so forth quite a bit. I'm always busy doing something or trying to be busy doing something. These compulsions, though, has led me to get various types of background. Now, my studies in zoology, for example, I've taken, herpetology, ichthyology, mammalogy, and a lot of other ologies. This has all led to bachelor's degrees in wildlife management, zoology, and botany. Now, I took that further and stayed in botany and got a master's degree in botany, which I think is a lot of fun. Further on, somehow I finagled my way into getting a PhD in agrostology. And have used that background to pay my bills for the last 25-30 years, and it's been rewarding. But right now I've somehow got myself switched on to this concept of the art of metal detecting, which is the topic of this video. Now, all this knowledge that you get in history and science or whatever, I'd almost give it up, all of it up, if I had any abilities at all in the arts. I don't. I cannot sing or dance. I dance like some old white man, okay? No ability. Painting. I cannot draw. I cannot paint unless it's got like numbers on it or something like that. I cannot write a poem. I cannot do anything with music. I've tried to play the piano. Can't. I tried to play a guitar. Absolutely no understanding of rhythm, which is not surprising. But I do have certain gifts, and that's what I tend to spend my time in, and I don't regret it at all. But I do admire the people that has an artistic aspect to their nature, something that I don't have. So the objective here is simply to take my compulsions on history, science, and theology and combine them into metal detecting. I have to produce something that is informative, it has to be entertaining, and it has to be interesting. Whether or not I can do that, I want to leave it up to you to decide. I think I can, and I know that I'll understand what I'm doing, but I'm not sure if everyone else will. But I hope you follow these up with views of my preceding or forthcoming videos and see what you think about them. Before I do that, I think I should actually take a review of the equipment that that I've selected to use in metal detecting, and give you some basic information about that, so that you'll know exactly what I'm using in this practice. Well, I've had to change my location here. I was down at one of my favorite places next to the Patuxent River, but I was getting a little bit of helicopter noise going back and forth up the river, and decided that I just quit there and come up here. Actually, they were the presidential helicopters. I guess they was looking for Obama. President Obama and couldn't find him. They looked over in Africa, wasn't there. He searched, you know, from Libya, Tunisia, all the way through Egypt. Couldn't find him. Looked in the Middle East, and certainly he wasn't over in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. You need tracks that he may have laid over in Syria or northern Iraq. He's not there. That's gone. Certainly not in Asia. Europe, he has nothing going on in Europe, except maybe for that Prime Minister of the Netherlands. So there's looking on the Patuxent River, and I don't think they're going to find him here. I think he's back in Chicago myself. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he ever left Chicago. So if they want to find Obama, let's just go back to Chicago. Metal detecting enterprise here. First of all, I researched the products for about a couple of weeks and finally decided that the Garret ATpro was absolutely what I wanted. And it was there that I made my first mistake. Not on the ATpro itself, but on the fact that I found me a local private dealer that drove 40 miles to his little shop and bought the ATpro for the $600, which is the advertised price everywhere. I brought it home, and within a couple of weeks I realized that I needed another one. Simply because I always like to go out with other people, and I've got a buddy named Armando who doesn't have a metal detector, and if I want him to come with me, I don't want him just sitting there digging the holes for me. I got him a metal detector, which I keep here at the house. So I bought the second ATpro from Calico, the Calico company. With the private dealer, I got the metal detector. With the Calico, I got all types of accessories, which were valuable. So my first comment to make is Calico is a great company. The product will arrive quickly, and you have under option 1 and option 2 a certain amount of accessories you can take. With the private dealer, for example, I paid let me see, $600 for the machine, and then you go to pinpointer, well, that's another $110, and that's what you get. With Calico, under option 1 or 2, whichever one it was, for about $650 you get the machine, the earphones, gator digger, and a bag and a case, and so forth and so on. So you get a lot better deal going with Calico. That's my experience with the situation. I think I'll just go in right now and talk about the ATpro as much as I want to talk about it. First of all, I love this machine. It is a much better detector than I am a detectorist. I'm still learning. I've been practicing over the last month since I've got it, going out and hitting areas around here, which happens, you're in my backyard right now here at College Park, Maryland. And just kind of practicing, trying to get used to it. And I will say that I just absolutely love this machine. Now I could have got, let's say, the Garret, instead of this ATpro, you have the Garret 350, which is, I suspect, also a very good machine. And the difference is about $250. The H350 runs about, I think, $350, and this runs about $600. And except for the all-terrain aspect of it, being the fact that you can bring this into water, which I plan to do, I figure they're both pretty identical machines. But however, I noticed that the transmitting frequency is like 18 on this and 8.5 on the 350. I don't actually know if that matters. I would assume that at different frequencies will detect different metals differently. I don't know. I know that if you go with the Garret AT Gold, that it has the same frequency, but your coil is different. It costs another $50, I think, or something like that for the AT Gold, which is better for detecting small pieces of gold. I don't know if that has anything to do with the actual electronics of this part, or it just has something to do with the size, the coil size. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go over this very very quickly. You get the ATpro in a box, and it's very easy to put together. There are instructional videos everywhere on, clicking the thing together. It's very easy. It takes only a couple of minutes. I will say, the only thing that I've noticed is that these two collars, and I'll bring that up right there. You see my finger? I don't even see my finger. It's up in there, right in there. This, oh yeah, here it is. This collar right here, when you screw them on, they will tend to, over time, and that's not a long period of time, unscrew themselves. So every time I go out, one of the first things I do is make sure everything is tight on the machine. But other than that, just the basic operation is good. The assembly is easy. All right, the first thing I'd like to say is ground balancing. Ground balancing, as the videos I show you, is quite easy. Yes, I use the manual ground balancing and pop the machine up and down, and it works great. It's absolutely easy thing to do. However, I found out that if you go out to a place, you have to ground balance as you change environments. For example, at the beach, if you go down, I brought the machine over to Ocean City here and hit the water with it. The ground balance there is different from the ground balance in wet, compacted sand, which is different from the dry sand up away from the beach. So you have to continually be aware that you can ground balance a number of times as you change environments or change your soil conditions as you go on a trip. Pinpointing. Pinpointing is automatic with the machine. You press the button and it pinpoints, fine and dandy. However, I never have been able to do it perfect. I always miss it a little bit. I find that pinpointing a dime or something like that, I can do that better than I can a big thing. I always, maybe because the cone of radio frequency that circulates the coil, if it hits the edge of it, it pinpoints on the edge of something, and I can dig the first hole, and I can miss a beer can where I can hit a dime pretty easily. So with practice, I think we'll be able to do it. Frequency adjustment that's on here, which evidently you have 4 frequency adjustments. I never have used it. They say, well, if you get close to another metal detector or get in where you're getting frequencies from some of the source, you can change frequencies. Well, if I get close to another metal detector, I'll just move over. Now, I've had this happen with the other metal detector. And I just moved over a little bit, say, Armando, move out of my way. So I never have changed it, but maybe, so it's not a big selling thing for me, but for someone else, it may be a situation where that's exactly what they want and what they need. But for me, I don't need it that much. You got these standard mode and pro mode that you can set very easily with the mode button, as explained on the YouTube video, the instructional videos that Garret has out there. I think there are about 4 basic ones that explains all this. The frequency or the ability to detect, I guess, is the same between all of them. However, what you do get, you get enhanced sounds through that headphone set. The only trouble is you have to know how to interpret these sounds, and that only comes with experience. You gain knowledge and skills and abilities as you use the machine, and with those KSAs, so to speak, you will get better and better with the machine. So I cannot tell you how to do it because I actually don't know the complete set myself, but I'm sure that as you work with the machine and experiment with the machine, you can then figure out the machine. Initially, I would start off with the standard mode and work with that for a while till you completely understand, then switch to the Pro mode and go from there. Me, I use the machine in Pro 0 mode. It's going to pick up everything. Mainly because I don't want to miss anything. If something's down there, I want to use it. I want to at least detect it and get a feel for it. The iron discriminating is very easy to use and absolutely necessary. I've been to places where I want to omit certain things. So I usually run it at about 30, the iron discrimination at a setting of about 35. And I find that that's good. The notch discrimination on the machine, I never use anyway. I guess, if you're looking for a very specific thing and you know what the readings will be on the displays, you can not discriminate everything else out. But I have never had a need to do that. I'm looking for everything. As a matter of fact, I dig a lot of things. I have dug a lot of things that I don't need to actually dig. But for some other situations, maybe someone actually thinks this is the best feature about the machine, and that's the big selling issue, this notch discrimination on it. Once again, the sensitivity. I usually set it about 4 bars up and I leave it there. I find that it reads correctly, deep, precise with that iron setting. Now, I'm with that discrimination or sensitivity at about 4 bars. Maybe if I could experiment more around with more bars or higher sensitivity or low sensitivity, maybe I could find something that was actually useful. But as of yet, in working with this machine, I haven't seen it. So anyway, that's just a very quick, kind of introduction to the ATpro. Go into the YouTube and look at all the instructional videos. But after working with this for quite a while, I just love the machine. The coin depth thing can be a little bit misleading. Sometimes when it reads at 4, it's usually right on top of the ground because of the way I'm swinging my machine. If it reads, I've read things at 8, they ended up at 10. Maybe they had a part of it at 8, but the main thing was at 10. I sit there and spent last week 20 minutes digging up something at 8 that turned out to be 10. It was a shovel blade that went down to, the part I dug it up, it was like 12 inches deep. So I thought I was going to find a metal container full of gold coins, but actually I found the blade of a shovel out in the middle of the woods for some reason. I don't know, someone had buried it or it got buried or something, but I'm the proud owner of a rusted shovel blade now. So anyway, that's kind of the ATpro, and I'd just like to give it a very positive review as far as my needs are. It's excellent for the beginner or for the intermediate type of metal detector, and really even for the semi-professional, I would say you cannot really beat this machine. I will use it for at least 2 years before I decide to change, and hopefully by then there will be upgrades to this that gives better imaging on as far as where the object is located at, better readings on the discriminating functions, or easier readings anyway. But we'll see. Right now I am happy with this machine and I couldn't be prouder to own it. Now, together with metal